Hello and welcome to my Rise of Life YouTube channel. I wanted to talk to you in the area of marriage. And this is about when you and your husband have a dispute, a disagreement, a little bitty spit or spat, or something as grand as a verbal fight that kind of got a little bit out of control. Now, I'm not talking about anything that's dealing with physical abuse, mental abuse, anything like that. I'm just talking about when you have a fight with your husband. Do not get on the phone and call your family members or even your friends. Do not go over their house and spill any kind of tea pertaining to you and your husband. Because when you and your husband love it out, hug it out, kiss it out, walk it out, whatever you got to do, you're going to get it out. And here's the problem with running to your family or even some of your shady friends, is that they will hold that over your marriage for the rest of your marital days, because people like that, they don't want you to be happy. They don't want you to be married. They don't want you probably to have a man at all. And you can kind of maybe figure out why that is, because I can't tell you that. But what I do want to tell you is, if you want to go and talk to someone about a fight you had, God is always available, 24 hours, 7 days a week. And the great part about it is, He is not going to be ridiculing your husband like your family would and some of your friends would. He is not going to talk bad to you about your husband. He's not going to read a long list of dissatisfied behavior that you have identified with your husband. No, instead, he's going to talk to you about what did you do, about how did you respond. You know, what would Jesus do? He may ask you, well, what did you do? How did you respond to the situation? God is such a loving God, and we are to love where our love covers a multitude of what? Sin. So keep whatever kind of disputes and disagreements that you have with your husband. If you feel like, no, I need another human being to talk to kind of help listen to me vent, somebody who I want to just share what he's done just to get their perspective. If you have to do that, call his mother or his father, because the chances are when you and your husband get back together and you're ready to be who God has called you to be, or at least start working on who God has called you to be, you're going to be long forgotten about the dispute that you had with him. You're going to forget all about that he hung the phone up in your face. He slammed the door in your face when you were running after him to talk. Or either he wouldn't answer your call, or when you were asking him questions and he was raising his voice and getting all beside himself and his body language was not right. Whatever kind of negative energy that was in that moment, the next moment, or 2, 3, 4, maybe 5, when you guys are walking together again, when you guys have forgiven each other's flaws, because I'm sure you didn't tell them about what you did. So anyway, they are going to hold on to that. And they will be still back, all the way back there in 1822. And here it is, 2019, reminding you, look what he said to you. Look how he talked to you. Look what he did. Okay, what did he do? He slammed the door in my face. He hung the phone up in my face. He raised his voice at me. He called me a name. He punched a hole through the wall. He threw a pot across the room. I don't know, but does that mean that your husband deserves divorce papers thrown in his face? Absolutely not. Does that mean that you need to go out there and seek a man who they think is better for you? Absolutely not. Does that mean that he is the scum of the earth? Absolutely not. You know your husband's character. You know his personality. You know his demeanor. Was he stressed out that day? Were you stressed out that day? What was your contribution to why the argument escalated? Because it takes two people to argue. It takes two people to have multiple voices echoing in the room. So what am I trying to say? I'm trying to desperately get, especially in the Christian marital community, we need to not be rushing for divorce over little silly stuff, especially when it comes to life, because life in itself is stressful. You've got your careers, you've got your personal affairs, you've got your business, you may be stressful with your health, you may be stressful with anything. And if you don't know how to handle stress, guess what? It's going to find its way creeping through the back door, the front door, the cracks of the windows, the crack of the door, your home, whatever the case may be. But this is what I want to leave you with. When you're married, there are going to be things that you're going to have to grow through. That's called self-growth. You and your husband grow together. Why is that such a bad thing? Because you shouldn't be fighting over the same thing when next year rolls around. When the next year rolls around, and the next year, okay, maybe it might take you 2, 3, 4, 5, I don't know. But as long as you are progressing, as long as you and your husband are on the same page together where you're saying, yeah, baby, we shouldn't talk like that. Yes, sweetheart, we shouldn't be raising our voice. No, we shouldn't respond like that or like that. Or all of that contributes to an unhealthy conversation. So even though you may not have been the one spitting out words, tapping your feet, looking up, looking at the floor, and not giving your husband the respect he deserves by looking him in the face and responding with love. Because I'm going to tell you, honey, sweet words, kind words, loving words will weigh on a man who loves you to life. A man and a woman, because if you are a husband watching this, you have responsibility too. It weighs on you. And grace only goes so far when you're not Jesus. Being that we are human beings, we go to God with our problems, with our spouses, because God is going to say, how did you respond? He's not going to ask you, what did your husband do? And he's not going to put your husband down. So be very careful, be very cautious, and be very selective about who you go to about your husband's behavior. Because remember, you also, at some point, needed to be forgiven, whether it was by your husband or by somebody else, but you have definitely needed to pull on the strings of God's heart when it comes to asking for forgiveness. That is what I want to leave you with. Keep your business between you, your husband, and God. I thank you so much for watching this video. I just wanted to let you know that I am on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Rise of Life, and I also have a website, riseoflife.com. Come on by my community. Join in the conversation because I post all the time. I want to hear some of your comments. I want to get this conversation started with whatever topic it is that touches your heart. God bless you and have a great day.